So I decided to pull the fuel tank out of the old 78 GMC because it wasn't getting any fuel to the pump, and I verified the pump was good when I hooked up that temporary tank. And I know this tank was replaced. You can tell how shiny it is because I seen the old one there sitting like Swiss cheese, and well, they told me they replaced it. But I had a feeling that maybe this rubber line was plugged, or maybe because it's so cracked that wasn't getting enough vacuum. There's another part of this line that's still on the truck that had electrical tape wrapped around it. And this is the return, which they just had like plugged off. So I think what I'm going to do is pull the sending unit out, see if it's plugged up, probably drain the tank so I can put some fresh gas in it, and see if we can get it to run off the tank. Well, I pulled the sending unit out, and I don't think this was replaced. And this right here is why the gas gauge doesn't work. This wire is completely broken. Assuming this is probably partially clogged. And the inside of this tank is pretty nasty, even though it was a brand new tank at some point, about 15 years ago. So I think it needs cleaned out, and we're gonna have to get a good fuel filter in line, probably a new sending unit, because this one is crunchy. So I'm gonna do that, and I think that's gonna be where we're gonna pause on the truck. Sending unit, run a new fuel line, clean this tank out, and we should get some fuel going up to the engine. But I definitely don't want to run this garbage through the engine. So I need to try to get all the rust and things out of this fuel tank before I put the new sending unit in. As I showed you before, there's all kinds of nasty in here. So I'm gonna do an old redneck trick. I'm gonna use this 4-wheeler chain. Use a regular chain, not marbles, bolts, nuts, bolts, whatever. Anything really that you can just stick down in there. And I'm gonna slosh it back and forth aggressively. And that's gonna like break everything up, and then I can properly dispose of the old gas that's in here. And it'll be nice and clean. Probably flush it a few times, put the new sending unit in, and that garbage, put that in the garbage. We should be good to go. So let's start that now. It's a little better. We're going to be running a fuel filter anyway, so we'll change the fuel filter out, but just trying to loosen that stuff up a little bit. Flush it out some, and then do some more shaking. Get the new sending unit in, step it down in the truck. So stay tuned for that. The X's. I know it's a factory thing, but I'm taking this plastic shield off. I did take it off because you know, I live in the Rust Belt, which I'm not planning on driving this truck in the wintertime. I'm not going to see salt anymore. But stuff like this, I know it's like a heat shield or guard, whatever you want to call it, but you see all that dirt in there? This is a newer tank, but what happens is dirt, debris, moisture gets trapped in between this guy and the tank and just holds it in there and just rusts it out. So I'd rather have the bottom of the tank exposed than have this cover on. So that's one thing we're going to delete on, is this. I know it's factory, but sure, they put it there for a reason. I don't care. I'm not putting it back on. So you can tell where those fuel lines were leaking. I told you we're all cracked. And you can tell it was an Ohio truck before it went to Texas and came back to Ohio because of the rust it's got. But anyhow, yeah, so I'm leaving that out. So I walked into Jegs and grabbed me a new fuel sending unit. It's like $3 more than what it is on Amazon. And yeah, by the way, you can do that if you live in Ohio. You can just walk into a Jegs store because we have those here. Well, at least in Columbus. I don't know about other parts. We have like the warehouse and stuff here in Ohio as well. So if I can get this box open. Anyhow, this one actually came with the new lock ring and a O-ring as well. What the Amazon one did not, and I choose to trust the Jegs brand one a little better. So we got the nice new sock on there. We got 2 lines, This wire, like I said, just snapped off of this one. So this is kind of the comparison here, what we're looking at. Looks like it's oriented a little bit differently, but shouldn't be. Oh no, I guess, no, it's like 360 degrees or something. Anyway, so this one's snipped off. Looks like it's been cut. It's rusty, it's beat up, it's probably plugged up, and overall just not a good piece of equipment. This one on the other hand, nice and neat. Got all the new wiring, got a nice sock on it. The tank's pretty clean, probably still has some dirt in it, but better than what it was. We'll put a fuel filter in line. Worst case scenario, the sock gets clogged up. Not a huge deal. I mean, the tank doesn't take long to drop at all. It took me 10 minutes to drop the tank out of this, so we're not going to be going very far for a while until we know this thing's solid. So we'll drop this down in and get this thing moving. Should start pulling fuel from its own tank once I fit this sucker down in. So preferably I'd like to orientate it this way if I can. But let me get this snipped in. I got to put the O-ring on it, just remembered. So now I'll be back. We got this guy snapped down in there, nice and shiny. So sitting units in place. We got a nice big ground wire. We'll have to find a spot to bolt that up. Probably in the factory spot. And plug our wire back in. Lift this sucker back up in there, which is nice and light. Well, light as it can be. And get some fuel in it. I've got some 93 left in that can, so I'll just dump 93 in it and whatever I fill it up with later. But we'll get this in, see if we can get the fuel pump pulling from the tank without any leaks. So all the leaky lines should be replaced because I did the little rubber sections up there, and now I'm new rubber here, and yeah, let's get a move on. So I got my fuel line snipped in, and I don't know if this is proper for this, but that's what I'm going to do. So whatever, probably get some hate for this. Don't care. This truck does not have a return line coming off the fuel pump. It only has a feed. So it's running a returnless system. So this secondary line here is not needed. So I'm just going to vent it. And this is actually what was on the truck when I got it. So I'm going to run that same setup that it was like when I got it and hope for the best. So hopefully it doesn't slosh out or anything crazy, but I don't know. We'll find out. These are like the kind of things they use on like differentials. But so we're going to put this back up in there. This should be enough fuel line. I can trim it back if I need to. Just using that section I used off that little donor tank. So get this in there and go from there. Rust hole. Hold on a second. Look at this. So let's put jacking this thing up. It's like leaking fuel right here. I seen a wet spot, but there's like a little rust spot, but it's not. I think that's a freaking hole. These cheap aftermarket tanks. Tell you what. So we're gonna have to patch that. I may do some hillbilly stuff though. Might just JB weld it or something, but what? Like it wasn't leaking when I had it out of the truck. But yeah, that's gotta be. Let me see. Yeah, look at that. Unless it just knocked it loose. Little baby rust hole right there. That's something. So much for the new tank. Alright, well. Gotta fix that now. I'm going to do a little bit of a band-aid fix. I got some JB tank weld. Just so I can get a new tank. Because I've been poking at this thing. All these little dark spots are all rust holes. So I've really just been trying to poke them out and see like what the situation is. And hopefully I have enough. So we'll find out. But we're going to try to sand this up. There's a little one over here too. And just try to cover all these areas. And go from there. Well, this stuff is a mess. And it came with this like fiberglass strand stuff. So I tried it out. We'll see what happens. I smothered it all over there. Like I said, this is only going to be a temporary fix. I have another tank on the way. So we'll see if this holds. It'll be enough to get it in the truck, get the truck running. But yeah, we're not keeping this mess. I mean, it might last forever. I don't know. But I'm trying to do this truck right. And so I don't want to keep a patched up tank in here forever and risk it coming off and all that. But anyhow, we're gonna try it out. This stuff says it cures like 4 hours, so tomorrow we'll snip the tank back in and go from there.